Good evening. So Wednesday workshop, so much easier to say than the Mindful Monday meditation, although that does now flow in a weird way, but only if I don't think about it. So we're looking at different NLP techniques, and today we're going to look at an interesting one, um, a pattern that's used for self-healing. And it builds on the premise that your body already knows how to heal a load of things that you don't even have to think about. In fact, it's probably healing stuff you're not even ever aware of. But you know, if you sprain an ankle, your body knows what to do to slowly put that right. If you have a cut, your body knows what to do to put that right. Which means there is if we go on a computer analogy, a program in your mind that identifies areas of your being that can be self-healed. And it has a certain code. I hate these words, but they're the only words that really I've been able to find to go. A certain code that is associated with certain parts of the body and certain ailments that it goes, right, I know what to do here. I'll just get on with it and I'll fix it. You know, a cold, our body knows what to do to fight a cold off. It knows what to do to fight the flu off. We don't have to tell it. And the other week we were looked at our representational systems. And what I like about a lot of NLP work is that use of the representational systems, how we are, the code is the same as the representation system, really, how we identify it on the inner level, and then how we can change and shift and affect change within ourselves based on those inner representations. And this does that rather exquisitely. Um, if you've looked at the PDF, there's 6 pages of it. I did do it a slightly larger text, mainly because I find 12 now is getting a bit too small. So I thought, well, if I'm probably not the only one. So let's make it a slightly larger print. But you'll also notice that the very last page has a prompt diagram. Just a simple flowchart thing that's it, to remind you to remember the stages. Because once you run it through and read it through a few times, um, that's probably all you're going to need for it to, I mean, you could pretty well, as you get more into the NLP stuff, just have a folder full of different patterns just with their prompts because they're the same ideas and techniques being used all the time, since same principles being applied. So, did I press record? I did. So you kind of get used to it. So you can go, oh yeah, it's that. And one of the best ways we learn, and you can learn this easily by following and going through this, is that we'll go through it. Yeah, I'll take or not one at a time because we'll be here till the end of like tomorrow. But one at a time, not one at a time. Um, I'll take you all through it like a group exercise. And once we've done that, you can then we'll see what we're at time wise. Because part of me thinks I'll let you have a go through with it, but if you haven't got a copy of it, that's quite a tall order the first time through. Um, so if you haven't, and you feel like, oh, I think I get the gist of this, I'll just give it a go. You're not going to do any damage by doing that. But we'll see. We'll see where we're at the end. So this method, this approach can be adapted for hypnosis. And actually, you might even get a more quicker and stronger result from somebody in a light trance doing this than you may just using the straight NLP technique. Although that's the hypnotist part of me speaking, the NLP part of me says that actually, if you're following this exercise through and engaging with it, you're going into the trance state anyway. So it's a method that will guide you through a process that will teach your brain how to code an injury or illness for automatic healing. So there's the premise that our brain has a program, a pattern, a code for automatic healing because it does that for us. Um, and what this is about is changing code that idea and taking the I'm trying to think of a good analogy of this. Taking the ailment, the illness, and I think this could work with physical illness, injury, but I think you could also apply this to emotional things as well. Um, I think maybe Sally, with what you've been talking about, a message be about. This is one way that you can approach working with it. Um, so I think it's got lots of applications. You could also use the same principle to help people overcome fears, to change habits. It's quite a universal pattern once you start thinking outside the box with it. Um, of course, there are never any guarantees of things producing healing. But when you look into this automatic healing approach with NLP, there are a lot of people who've either noticed benefits, feel that they've healed quicker because of it, in the same way that, NHS says that Reiki, they won't condone that it's healing, but they believe whatever it does allows the body to natural healing to kick in and do what it needs to do. Um, and in a way, this does the same thing. Um, and we're not quite sure how the mechanisms of the physiology with this process stimulates a healing response in people. But it does seem to, by creating kind of like unconscious messages of healing that your body responds to throughout a day. And these messages are not some generic subliminal suggestion like, wave the pocket watch, you're going to sleep. Oh, your body is healing. It's not like that. If any of you ever approach healing somebody with hypnosis like that, I will disown you. I'll say I never heard of you. uh, the only time you ever do that is at a festival. Um, Literally, these messages are not, as I said, they're not just a suggestion. It's a sequence of changes. It's a way of getting your brain to change how it's approaching whatever it is you're you're dealing with at the time. And having these messages in place seems to be one of the key elements that allows some people to experience almost remarkable recoveries and other people to just feel more positive whilst they're healing. So, are we ready to have a go? Big thumbs up. So I'm going to just take everyone through it. Um, There are some bits where you may want to write bits down. However, for most of it, it's just following the process through as I guide you through it. You won't need to be writing lots down. It may only be one or two key words. So, first of all, I want you to think of and identify something that you want to heal automatically. So, it could be an illness or an injury. I would also say you could apply this to emotional injuries and traumas as well. Um, so first of all, just select one thing. And, it might be that you have a bit of a bad back. It might be you have a bit of a, if you're on your feet too long, your ankles play up or something. Not something huge and major, just something tangible to start off with. Um, And once you've got that illness, injury, whichever, decide that you want to move on from it. Decide that, yeah, that's it. So just checking in, has everyone got something? Yeah. Like this is a good one if you've kind of starting to notice a cold coming on. You can use this to help accelerate that. So is that a thumbs up from everyone? Have we got a thumbs up from Anne? Thumbs up from Sally. Yeah, we've got a heart, even better, sparkling there in the corner. Um, Fabulous. So you've decided what that is. Now, what I'd like you to do is I'm going to ask you a question. How will you know when this is healed or is in the process of healing? So when this is healed, what is the difference in your overall experience? What signs will you have that this is changed, that it is healed, and what will look or feel different once this is healed for you? And if you've got a pen and paper, that might be a time you want to jot down a few things. So, if it's a bit of a bad back that gives you a bit of jip from time to time, it stops giving you the jip. What difference does it make? Oh, I can spend a bit longer doing that thing I like that usually aggravates it. Um, but whatever that is, just once you've got a few things jotted down. So basically, how will you know if it's healed? How will you be aware if it's healing? What are the signs for you? And what is the difference it makes to your future once this thing is better? And once you've answered those for yourself, like I say, you might just want to keep that in your mind. You might want to write it down. But once you've done that again, just give me a thumbs up sign or something to let me know. There we go. One, two, three. Oh, everyone's really quick and on it. That's really good. Okay. So now what I want you to do, we're going to leave that where it is just for now. I want you to think of a personal experience of a time when your body has automatically healed itself. So if there's something similar to the illness or the injury or whatever it is that you want to heal, and this could be like a forgiving. It could be like a letting go of something. And maybe there's a time you've forgiven someone in the past and it was easy and it just seemed to happen automatically, but there's somebody else you're struggling to. So it could be something like that. Um, so yeah, look for something that's similar to the illness or injury that you want to heal, that your body knows automatically how to heal that, just does it by itself. Um, Pick something that you know no matter what you do, it will heal automatically by itself, no matter what you do. Um, so even if you try to, you can't avoid the healing. And some examples can be simple things like cuts, scrapes, blisters, sprains, cold, flu. Most of us have had these experiences, and we know that they'll sort themselves out. You don't have to think about it. Your body just does that thing that it does to make you well. So think of something, consider either that you think similar or something. If you can't think of something that's similar, maybe something that affects your life in a similar way. So if it's something that maybe keeps you awake at night, um, maybe there's another time when you've had, I don't know, like a really bad cold and it's kept you awake at night. Yeah. So if it's not similar in its physical manifestation, maybe it's similar in the way it holds you back or disrupts your life. Everyone got something? Yeah, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. So now what I want you to do is think about that automatic healing. Really step into it as though it's happening now. Yeah. Literally imagine, pretend that it's happening now. So if you had a cut or whatever, right now you would know that it was healing automatically. And step into it. See what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel. Imagine that's healing automatically now. If it was a cut, it might be you kind of notice it slowly scabbing up. You get that itching sometimes as it's healing. Just notice anything and everything about that healing as though it's happening right now. Just knowing that it will heal all of its own. You get an idea of that and really get a feel for that. And so now I want you to identify the differences in that coding, in how you're representing that automatic healing experience and the illness or injury that you've chosen to work on. So as you're thinking about the automatic healing, think about that part that needs healing. How do you see each of these, experience of these, feel these, and how are they different? So first of all, I'm going to invite you to think about the automatic healing. Where do you see it? Do you see that automatic healing as taking place on you outside, almost like you're looking at an image of you and that you's being healed? Do you see that as being in the actual place where it's, I'm holding my wrist, but I don't know why. If it's your wrist, say it was here, do you see the healing taking place here? Do you see that healing taking place somewhere outside of you? And then when you think about the part that's not healing, that bit that you want to heal, where do you see that? Because they'll be different. It might be, let's take the example for a bad back that wants healing. Maybe you see it in your back, but maybe you don't. Maybe you see that part of you that needs healing somewhere out there because you can't quite reach that healing part yet. So get in your minds an idea of where you see the automatic healing and where you see that healing that you're waiting to happen. Let me know when you've got that. If you need to jot it down, jot it down. If not, just think about that. And then when you're done, I've got a thumbs up from Anne. So when you're done, just let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Brilliant. Sally's still, there we go. Sally's got, still writing at the moment. There we go. So keep thinking about those two, noticing the differences, where you see it. So when you think of your illness that hasn't healed or the injury that hasn't healed, what do you see in your mind? Where do you see it? Is it right in front of you? Is it in your body? Is it off to the side? And ask those same questions of the automatic healing. So we've just done that. So make a note of that. And now look for anything other that's different. By looking at the coding, how you're representing that. We've looked at where you're representing it, where you see it. But when you see it, when you imagine it, is one imagining in color? Is the other in black and white? Does one appear as a picture, the other as a movie? Is one bigger as you're imagining and thinking about them both? Is one smaller, closer, or further away? Check your mind for how your mind identifies one as something that will heal automatically and the other as something that won't. There may be sounds associated. Is there a sound associated with the healing that's different to the sound that's with that which needs healing? Is one lighter? Is one brighter? How many different ways, when you compare, does your unconscious mind represent that automatic healing with that part that is in need of healing? What are the differences? Jot them down. Be the first things that come to you. And most importantly, jot down the automatic healing experience. How does that look? When you think about it, what pops into your mind? Could be a word that pops into your mind. Maybe you hear something being said. Maybe you feel something. Just jot anything down about that and compare it with your experience of that part of you that's waiting for healing. And when you've done that, give me a thumbs up. Thumbs up. And heart again from Anne. Sally's not writing now, so I think Sally's done. Fiona's still making a few notes. Oh no, we're good. Wonderful, wonderful. So, in your mind, I want you now to make that unhealed experience, so that thing that you want healing, just like your automatic self-healing experience. So you're going to start changing the coding, changing the representations, changing the symbolism around the unhealed part, the unhealed experience, injury, illness, to the same way your brain already represents and symbolizes the automatic healing. So if you see the automatic healing inside you, but the injury and illness outside of you, bring that illness and injury into the place where that automatic healing is. If the automatic healing is colorful in your mind and bright, but the unhealed part is not, make it so. This is your mind, your imagination. You can change all these things. But change that image, that picture, that representation of the unhealed part of you so as it matches the healed. Use the information you got from the last step. If your unhealed experience was a slide of illness or a movie of getting worse, first change it into an image of getting better, just like the one you already have for the automatic self-healing experience. Then move your previously unhealed experience into the same location as your automatic healing experience. So how do we do that? If you see your automatic healing experience on your body in the appropriate spot, then see your unhealed experience on your body in whatever location is appropriate for it. You can just bring them together. So in other words, if you see your cut healing on your hand and you want your spine to heal, imagine your spine is healing if you can see it right there where it's in your back. So as though it's there, healing now. If you see your cut healing in a picture of yourself out in front of you, then see your spine moving it to that position and a similar picture of it healing outside of you, because that's where that is coded in your environment. Whatever that picture is of the thing you want healing, make it like and put it in the place that the healing takes place automatically. Some people will see both. They'll see it partly taking place inside and partly taking place outside, in which case put the healing part into that same space and make that image like the automatic self-healing experience in every other way. So if you imagine it like an artist has painted a picture, and there's a picture that's painted by the artist and a picture painted by somebody else, you're now making that picture that's painted by somebody else look just like it's been painted by the artist. If it's got a glow around it, or if it's in color, make it bright, make it colorful. Make your unhealed experience the same. Do this. By doing it, your mind and body will respond now to the injury or the illness. It's something that is specially marked out. So if you've done that, it's quite a lot to do. But if you've done that, just let me know. Put a thumbs up. Yeah, a couple of you. Oh, I've done one myself there now. Yeah, that's it. Everyone done that now? No, still working on it. Yeah. And just check in with it. If you've already done it, just check in with it. See if just look at the finer details. Is there anything else that you can change from how you represent the unhealed part so as it matches the healed part? Might be a little thing you notice. You go, oh, actually, that could be different. Or that would make it more like that again. You know, if the unhealed part is small, make the and the self-healing is big, make the unhealed bit big so it too can self-heal. So as you're doing that, once you've done it, then you need to test it to be sure that the one image, that inner representation for the illness or injury, is now matching the automatic self-healing. So take another look at your automatic self-healing experience and how you now see your injury or your illness. Are they the same? Does it feel the same when you think about the two now? If not, notice what is still different and make the injury or illness the same as the automatic self-healing. Because when the unhealed experience is coded for healing, many people notice significant and immediate changes in how they feel about it. It's a sign that a chain has changed, but it's a sign that a change has successfully been made at the physiological level. You know, does that image of your injury or illness seem as real and compelling now as your automatic self-healing experience? If not, look again for differences and make the two experiences the same. A simplified way of me saying this is, you know, if you've got a red and green apple that represents a healing, self-healing, and just a red one, you want both of those apples to be red and green. So make sure they are. And if the healing one's got a leaf, make sure the other one's got a leaf. Just make those the same. Just double check. See how you're feeling about that illness or injury now. And if it feels the same as you do about your body's natural ability to self-heal, brilliant. If not, what else needs changing in those two images, in the two ways? If there's sound associated, make sure you've associated the sounds the same. If there's an emotion connected, make sure you've associated the emotions. And whilst most people find that how they see the injury makes all the difference, you can also check what you hear, like I've said, or even what you're saying to yourself about it. You know, if it's a self injury, that it's an injury that kind of self heals, maybe you say to go, oh, leave it alone, it'll be all right, or it'll pass. Or make sure if that's what you'd say to yourself, that you're saying it to that new image of that part that wants healing as well. Create that similar voice in the same location as you hear it for the illness and the injury that you want to heal. And so when you've done that, just give me a thumbs up and a wave. There's not a rush with it. You just got a thumbs up. Got Anne's heart twinkling away there. Got a wave from Sally. And if you're following it along and into it, just know that the process will carry on working for you as you're doing this. So once you've got to that point where the two images are the same, you begin to notice how you're thinking or feeling about that now. That's different than it was before. What I want you to do is in your mind's eye, if it helps to close your eyes. First of all, think about how you picture time. When you think about things being in the past, Are they somewhere over to the left of you, and the present is in front of you and the future is to the right of you? Is it the other way around? Is the past off to the right, the present in the middle, and the future off to the left? Or is the future in front of you, the present where you are, and now somewhere behind, the past somewhere behind you? Wherever that is, I want you to picture, imagine, however you do that, your timeline going backwards in time. And as you're picturing that now, you'll become aware of a certain point along there that just kind of almost like a hand waving, just illuminating a marker point that is just the right place for you to place another image of that self-healing, of that illness or injury. It might be the point where it happened or where it started, or it might be somewhere else along that timeline where you just see like a flag waving or a signpost that says, place an image here. And so what you do is journey back along that timeline and place an image of that self-healing injury, that self-healing illness that you want to heal. Place it there now as well. Hands getting tingling from the head down while she's doing it. That's wonderful. Pay attention to those things. It shifts, it changes. So somewhere in your past, you place that image of that illness and injury you want to heal, self-healing. Place it there now. Put it back there. Notice how that feels as it settles into place and works its way rippling through your timeline. Traveling back in that timeline, placing that self-healing image back in that moment. And then when you've done that, just give me again a quick wave or a thumbs up to let me know. That's it. Wonderful. Fabulous. And so now we're going to do like a bit of personal ecology. I want you to kind of just close your eyes. We're going to check for any internal objections to the healing. So just focus yourself inwards and ask yourself, does any part of me have an objection to my healing automatically? And just wait. If the answer is no, that's this step done. If the answer is yes, then I invite you to just picture that part of you that said yes as a shape, any shape. Picture it as a color. Now, I don't know what that color or shape is for you, but whatever that is, ask that shape and color if it's willing to become a part of something bigger. When we think of awareness, awareness stretches out, not just from where we live, the town, the country, the planet, but we're aware that there are planets beyond ours. We're aware of the sun. We're aware of other galaxies. We're aware of distant stars and that there is something beyond them. Even if we can't see it, we are aware. And in fact, our awareness is that of the totality of existence. So ask that part, that shape, that color, if it's willing to become part of the totality of all awareness. And then just allow it to dissolve, to meld, to become part of, however you do that now. And then just check in. Check in again with yourself. Ask, is there a part of me now that has an objection to my healing automatically? And then finally, we access our inner wisdom, keeping the attention inwards, asking your inner self, your unconscious, is there anything else I can do to support my automatic healing? And just wait for whatever images, feelings, or thoughts come to mind. Because it can be amazing what wonderful advice you can offer yourself if you just ask and listen. Sometimes it's even the same advice we've received from others, yet when we're receiving it from ourselves, we usually trust it a bit more and want to follow it. And check in with things like lifestyle changes to support your healing. Whether your personal habits are in order, your body has a much better opportunity to heal itself if they are. Check in and ask, does my inner self have suggestions about my diet, my rest, my exercise, my work habits? Quite often the usual suggested protocols for dealing with illnesses might not be 100% right for you because we are all different. But your inner self will often notice before you and before your conscious mind is aware. For any major illness, it's also useful to do this every day. Ask yourself every day, ask your body, what do I need to do today to help and further my well-being? Sometimes you'll get advice. Sometimes you'll just get, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. This step offers you a gentle way to make sure your personal habits support healing. If you're not eating a good diet, not getting enough sleep, or overworking, your healing will take longer. But if you listen to your inner wisdom, follow what it says, you can heal quicker. If you have a cut, you don't rub dirt in it and expect it to heal. You keep it clean, you take care of it. And in the same way, taking especially good care of yourself allows any injury or illness to heal more rapidly now. You may notice that you feel motivation to develop certain habits that are more beneficial for you. Finding your taste in food shifting to help support your healing. Even developing better and better ways to respond to life's difficulties so that you experience resourcefulness rather than stress. Even just simply taking 5 minutes to close our eyes and relax several times throughout a day can allow healing to occur more easily. You may feel moved to kind of sit and just give yourself some Reiki. But even when circumstances are difficult, changing the way you respond to situations can reduce stress significantly. And so if there's been any inner guidance, any insight, any wisdom, any advice, again, you can just open your eyes and jot down whatever's come to you. It might be words, it might be an image, might not make sense straight away. And then when you're done, you can, if you've not done so already, just open your eyes and be here now. Thumbs up, let me know you're done. Yep, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And a heart from Anne. There we go. Fabulous. So that's the whole procedure. It seems quite complicated when you first do it, but at the back of the PDF, there is a breakdown of a flow of what it is. And once you get the gist of it, the simple thing is you identify what it is you want to change. I think you could use this probably with things like phobias as well, to be honest, but rather than a healing, we naturally have times when we're just not scared. We know everything's okay. So that then becomes the self-healing aspect. And the phobia is the bit you want to do. But then if you go through the same process of how you represent it and then making the phobia representation match the times when you're not scared representation, then you can shift how you respond. And by changing how we're representing these things on the inner levels, we change how we respond to them on the outer levels. Um, but the basic breakdown: identify an illness or something you want help with healing. Bring up that similar thing, or as similar as you can get, that is self-healing. And then in the same way as I kind of sometimes will say to you, oh, that feeling, what color is it? What shape it is? Just find out how you're representing those two things. You could even do it. We've done the hands thing. I remember we've done the hands thing because remember Debbie finding her passport, wasn't it, with that? So you could even go, okay, which hand is self-healing in? Which hand is the illness in? Well, if you've already got a self-healing one, it's obviously going to be the opposite one. And as they come closer together, whatever it is self-healing knows, that the body knows, it can bring into play for this aspect of myself that needs healing. It's just a case of iPad about to run out. Power if you do it. Okay, no worries. Um, Identify it. Find out how you represent self-healing. Find out how you represent the illness or the disease. Is it inside of you, outside of you? What color is it? What's it look like? Is it seen as a picture, a movie? Is it a feeling? Whatever it is, get those two and then change the, how you're representing the illness to yourself or the injury so as it now matches the the self-healing. Once you've done that and you feel it's done, check in with yourself. How am I now feeling about that illness or disease? In theory, you should now feel or think about it the same way you do when you're self-healing. So the simple example of that is, oh, look, I've got a little cut on my arm. That's all right. Clean it up. It'll be fine. Rather than the, oh, my life, that's never going to get better kind of feeling we have with other things. Once you've done that, check in with yourself. Is my body happy to let this self-healing take place now? I can't imagine the body saying no. Um, but if it does, we did I did a shorter version of it today, but we did that one workshop where you kind of, if you get a resistance to change, you kind of picture where you're feeling and seeing that change. What does it look like? And then you move out and out. And then you dissolve it all into the totality of awareness, which is wonderful. Um, And then the final stage of that is then going in again and just say, okay, is there anything else I need to know or need to do that's going to facilitate my recovery quicker or help me heal on this? I'm not going to make you do it this evening. Because I realized as I was doing it, it's a lot to take in. There's the different steps and processes, which once you read through it and see it broken down with the steps is actually a lot simpler than it maybe sounds and feels. But are there any, let me knock the recording off.